Hello, I am Tail Gunner, a name I have given myself for my years in scouting where I always had to stay behind to slowest scout. However, these days I'm out solo more often than not. Been backpacking in the Olympics. They are my playground, which means I am old enough to have photos sitting on photo albums, sitting on the shelf gathering dust. This whole online thing is new to me. And so I'm recording some of my old favorite hikes and also exploring some new hikes. So if you want to subscribe, you can come along. Today, that is where we are. Let me save you the trouble of counting the rings here. Born in 1870 AD. Died in 2020 AD. A moment of silence. May you rest in pieces. Alright, Tail Gunner here. We are walking up Dosewallips old roadbed. This is actually what remains of the old roadbed. But this is the section that is closed. Actually, I think this dump pile right here is something they put up to prevent cars from speeding down here any longer, or any further, I should say. But we are now coming down the road bed here, and then briefly you will see why this is the trail and not the road any longer. A couple of years ago, Dosewallips River right here decided to take a Y turn, and we are still in the middle of the road. Yeah, we are still in the middle of the road, but you can see it just sort of drops off into the river here. Turning this way, that is the detour route that goes up and over the hill. There's a cliff right there. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but there's probably about a 300-foot gap here. If you go down to the river, you can bushwhack through and get to the road there, but that's a lot of work, and it's easier to go up and over the hill, especially if you got a pack. Alright, shutting the video off. Alright, coming through an old burn area here, still actually on the roadbed, still here in Olympic National Forest. Looking up the hill, you can see the stands of some burn trees with new growth coming in. You can see up ahead, some of those snags are now coming down. You look over that way, you see some of the old snags down in the draw there. So yeah, so this is a great place to hang out on a windy day. Of course, I never said I wasn't sarcastic at times. Anyway, so it's a nice calm day, but we still have miles to go before sunset, and that's coming up fast, so I'm going to put this away and keep going. Alright, Tail Gunner here. This is the same trail I actually hiked back in August. This is now early October, and I can assure you that this was not here back in August. Yeah. Alright, we are still walking the roadbed. We are still in Olympic National Forest for the moment. But as you can see right here, I think we have a sign indicating, it doesn't say National Park boundary. I'm pretty sure this sign indicating the National Park boundary, and I think at one point there was a sign on the tree indicating it was, but maybe the tree is no longer here. But anyway, we are crossing over from Olympic National Forest into Olympic National Park. All the hunting and fishing regulations dramatically change. Basically none now. And we will continue on. It's now 7 o'clock. Sunset's about 9, and the sign said we have 1.2 miles left to do. Alright, we're walking along on what I keep telling everyone's an old roadbed, and you're probably looking at this going, they even look like that's a good trail, that's not a roadbed. And then you suddenly come across something like this that lets you know that yes, at one time this was a road. Alright, that's all for now. Alright, I don't know if you can hear me over the roaring waterfall right behind me, but the Dosewallips River would sort of like this section of road, it looks like. It is, as you can see, the road continues to fall into the river here. I've been hiking this area section here for about 4 or 5 years now on a almost yearly basis, and this section is getting narrower and narrower. Some of this that's fallen I used to walk on. Over on this side, you got a steep hillside, so there is nowhere for the trail to go if this continues. Maybe another decade or two, but this river over here is not going to be denied this hillside. Okay, we just finished coming up that thing there, which is why I'm totally out of breath. To our right, you can probably hear it, we got a major waterfall. I'll see if I can get a picture of it at some point. I probably got it on my disc at home already, but I'll take another one on the way out. I didn't take it coming up the hill this time. And we're about somewhere between a quarter and a half mile from Dosewallips Campground and Ranger Station. Swing around this way. Got a few more feet to crest the hill here. And fun fact, when this was I don't think they're using it anymore, but at one time when this was a bit more active ranger station, when you could drive to it, because they were still a good quarter mile away from it, but this wide spot up here was a helicopter pad where they could come in with helicopters, either primarily to take, I think, injured hikers out. I don't think they were supplying it, no, because they could drive in, but this wide spot here, one of the rangers told me at one time, an old helicopter pad, I don't think is used anymore for that purpose. But that is the information, the trivia I have. Again, we're about a little under a half mile from Dosewallips Ranger Station. Alright, we're coming up to a section of the trail where the original trail up until about 2 years ago went straight. I think you can see it there beyond this monstrous hole. It's the Dosewallips River, which is just over there. Decided to take the turn wide 2 years ago and took out the side of this hill. So there is where the old trail went to. So now we get to follow the detour up and over this rock pile. Alright, Tail Gunner here. We have made it here to the Dosewallips campground. Sun is out of the sky, it's behind the western ridges, but there's still light in the sky. Technically, astronomically, sunset's not for another 45 minutes or so. I thought this place would be crowded, but it is not. There's 2 other parties some distance away from me, so I am social distancing on this side of the campground. I've got the outhouse conveniently close, maybe too conveniently close. The bear bend, there are bear bends here. They are down at where the other group is, so I will have to at least make my presence known when I drop my bear bag or food bag down there. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm not going to turn off the alarm on this thing. I am first pack of the year with a full pack. I've been out day hiking almost similar distances, but this is the first time I've had a pack on today, or this year. So 6.5 miles today. I've got 8.8 tomorrow, but I'll have a full day to do it. I didn't hit the trailhead till about 3 o'clock today, so. But tomorrow is all uphill, so it will be so I plan to take sort of pretty much the entire day to do it. And mosquitoes are finding me now, so I have to find my bug spray. All right, but we have made it here, and we will find a tent site probably right about there. This is Tail Gunner out for, what is today, July 30th, I believe. All right, good night. All right, good morning, Tail Gunner here. We are here at Dosewallips campground, ready to hit up the main fork. We are packed up, because where's the pack? There's the pack. The forecast was, of course, for no rain, which means we're having light sprinkles right now. Common for the Olympics that we don't have accurate forecast. They call it a rainforest for some reason. Anyway, so I didn't actually have the rain fly on the tent last night, and got up at 5 a.m. when the rain started. All right, so it's about 8 o'clock. We've got 8.8 miles to Deception Creek campground. It's going to be a long day for me, as that is elevation gain, and I am not ready to do that, in shape to do that easily, but I've got all day to do it. All right, we're here at the junction of the main trail and the Terrace Loop Trail coming out of the ranger station. So if you don't want to do a major hike, just want to do the little short thing from the ranger station, you can take the Terrace Loop Trail. It's about a mile out and around. Of course, if you're trying to make miles for the day, you probably don't want to do an extra mile, but sometimes you take the wrong trail, and sometimes you get sometimes you can add an extra mile into your day if you don't want to. So just don't ask me how I know that. Anyway, we are headed on up to Dos Forks now. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. And then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. And shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.